Let's go to Cheryl in Chicago, Illinois. Cheryl, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hi, Ken. How are you?
Cheryl, I am living the dream. What's going on with you today?
Good. Well, thanks for taking my question.
Sure.
I just talked to the Dave Ramsey in his show last Thursday with a budget question.
Good.
So here I am with you this Thursday.
I love it. You got your money in order. Now we're ready to chase the dream.
Yeah.
Good.
So I'm 48 years old, and I've been teaching middle school math for 13 years. I earned my master's degree this past June, but I'm very unhappy with my job for several reasons, one of them being my salary. When I earned my master's, I didn't get moved up the pay scale at all. There was no increase in pay because of that. And just this school year, I reached the 60,000 mark, and I feel like I'm at a dead end as far as my salary because it only goes up 1% a year.
Yep.
But in addition to the salary issue, I feel frustrated daily because of the workload and policies that put me in a position to not hold my students accountable.
Yep.
And so over the last couple of years, I pursued a career change by connecting with a consulting group called Royals Consulting, and it was founded by a former teacher who changed her career too. And I've had several one-on-one coaching sessions with her, and I also paid her to revise my resume and cover letter. And so I've been applying to ed tech jobs, such as being a math curriculum writer for an online learning platform and things like that. And I've applied to countless jobs, but haven't landed any. And even still, I'm not positive that I would feel fulfilled in a job like that. Plus, the job postings don't state the salary, so I'm not positive that my salary would go up if I landed a job like that. So I've been in limbo regarding my career for 6 years, is what I'm saying. And I looked into your philosophy about what I'm good at, what I love, what my mission is, and to find the sweet spot. And I also took your quiz, and it indicates I'm in the wrong role at the wrong place.
Yeah.
So so to answer those questions, I'm good at teaching, explaining, helping, listening, doing math, and interpersonal skills. And then my passions are helping end child sex trafficking. As a matter of fact, I volunteered for an anti-trafficking organization called Reclaim 13 for 6 years now, but a paid position in that would be like half to 2/3 of what I make now. So in addition to that, one of my passions is just being a mom. I love psychology, math, and also Zumba, like anything with dancing and music I love. So my question is, can you please help me find some direction?
Sure, absolutely. So I love that you filled out the Career Clarity Guide, and I know you're new to my stuff. So the sex trafficking thing, that would fall under mission, results that matter most to you. You want to put an end to sex trafficking. You want to rescue kids, girls, women, whatever, boys, men, the whole nine yards. That's because you remember as you walk through that Career Clarity Guide, mission asks 3 big questions. Who are the people you most want to help? What's the problem you want to solve? Solution you want to provide? So that is definitely a missional thing for you. And the question becomes, is that a professional mission or is it personal? Because that could be both and. So you may say, you know what, I can't do that full time, but I can volunteer, I can donate to organizations that are helping stop.
And I have been doing that.
So that's great.
And I would make it a career if, I could live on that income.
Well, you need to find out more. Here's what's really going on with you. We're going to go through the sweet spot with you. But having heard everything you've said so far, you're on the outside and you need to get on the inside. That's what's really going on. You've been applying, you paid somebody to coach you up and all these things, but you didn't really make deep connections, and that's why I teach the proximity principle. It says, in order to do what Cheryl wants to do, she's got to be around people that are doing it in places where it is happening. And part of the issue, too, is you're not quite sure what you want to do. Or you are, but you haven't really named it and gotten confident about it. So we got a lot going on here, so we got to dig.
Yes, we do.
But so far, am I analyzing your situation pretty close?
Yeah, you're right on the nose.
Okay, great. What would you do tomorrow, Cheryl, if the salary was there and you knew you couldn't fail? What would you try? I think you know the answer, and I want you to say it.
I do. And I think this was like 2007. I called a production company in California to see what it would take to have my own TV talk show about parenting, where I'd have different segments about education, because I'm a teacher, math, sports, single parenting and things like that. So the answer that they gave me was you have to move to California to pull that off. And at the time, my kids were little.
Yeah.
So that would be great to have my own talk show. I would love that, and I would have also loved to start a nonprofit for the anti-trafficking, which the founder of this Reclaim 13 has done. And so if the money was there, I would love to be working for Reclaim 13. So
wait a second. Well, wait a second. First thing it was, I want to be a parenting content provider. I want to be a parenting expert content provider. That was the first thing. Then you brought in the working for the sex trafficking nonprofit. So which is the answer?
Yeah, because I do have a passion for both.
Yeah, but what if I told you can do both?
Oh, that'd be great.
Now, you can't work full time for both, but you can be a volunteer, a donor for that organization or whatever, or join one that's more local. I don't know if that's a local organization or not.
It is. It's very local. Yeah, I go to the safe house where the girls are.
Here's the reality.
From trafficking.
If I made you choose between the two, I'm going to give you, let's just have some fun, $75,000 a year in doing both, working for the sex trafficking nonprofit, or you've created your own parenting content piece. Which one? You can't have both, but you had to choose one. Which one do you choose?
I would do the parenting so that I could just volunteer for the Reclaim 13. That
ding,
way
ding, 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 ding.
Okay.
Yay! Now you're with me.
Okay.
Passion doesn't always have to be manifested in the professional setting. You can have multiple things you love to do. You can have multiple missions that you're fired up about. And you are. So it's a both and. So,
okay.
Great news. You don't have to move to California to create content. And what I would do is I would recalibrate the television show dream for now and say, well, that's the top of the mountain. That would be just an absolutely sensational dream come true. But what would have to be true for you to even have that opportunity anyway? Well, the only way somebody gets a parenting television show is when they've built a platform and a tribe. They've already got an existing platform that people are consuming said content, and they got a large tribe that validates the message. And so somebody goes, she's got a huge tribe over here, and so we want to give her a television show. That's how that happens anyway.
Okay.
So now we go, well, then what needs to be true to even have the opportunity for that to happen? And so it's pretty simple. Okay. You have to begin to develop your content, and then you got to share it, and then you scale it. That's how that works. And then eventually you monetize it. But right now, you could start doing a podcast right now. You could start a YouTube channel right now. Very little money. We're talking less than $150. You can launch a podcast and start doing stuff. You can open up you can start a blog that it all comes there. You have written content, spoken content, and a YouTube channel. And you get it out there and you begin to do this. You do this on the side. So you're going to have to suck it up a little bit in the teaching position and go, you know what? I've got some frustrations here. I'm not going to make a bunch of money here, but I've got a stable situation. Or you could change. You could go to another day job. You could say, well, you know what? Turns out with all my teaching experience, with this qualification and this qualification, I could become a corporate trainer, go into HR training, corporate training, and make 80 grand, 90 grand. Still a day job, but I'm making more money and helping fund what I want to do over here eventually. So this is day job, dream job. And so the way you're going to get there is the way I got here. I went to WDUN, which is a local radio station. I paid my way on. I had to pay $250 an hour. And I started on a Saturday radio show. Then I spent less than $100 and I started a podcast, and I had Joe Hankin, who's still my guy here on the board, and he would take the show and he would load it up into a podcast for me. So I had a radio show for an hour, and he turned it into a podcast and a weekly podcast.
Okay. I'm taking notes. I'm typing this down as you're talking.
Good. So here's what you need to do first. I was just coaching somebody the other day on this. What you need to do first is begin to, I want you to create a top 10. But I'm about ready to drop some gold right now. So anybody out there that's
I'm
watching,
listening.
anybody else that's watching right now, you want to get into content, I'm about ready to just, I should be charging crazy money for what I'm about to say. This is so good. Here it goes.
Okay, thank you.
Number one, I want you to make a top 10 list of parenting content that you like to consume. Could be a blog, could be a book, an author, television show personality that talks around this kind of stuff. It doesn't matter. And if you don't have a top 10 and you only got a top 3, that's fine. But who do you respect? What content do you listen to, watch, or read, and you go, that's spot on? That's what I want you to make a list of, because you need to begin to see how this works. How do you develop your own voice? How do you develop your own content? By consuming the stuff that you agree with and that moves you. Are you tracking with that theory?
I am.
Yeah. Now, once you get the list, I want you to double down on consuming it.
Okay.
And for a 30-day period, I want you to listen, read, watch everything you can from these, whatever, it's a 5, 10, 7 people, whatever. And as you begin to consume, I want you to reflect while you're consuming, reflect after you're consuming, and begin to write down your own thoughts. They said this, and I would add this. And then let yourself go, ooh, that's such a good thought. Who's a parent that I know in my world? I gotta get a hold of them and share this thought with them. And when you start to see what content really fires your soul, now you're getting a clue into what you want to share. Now, here's the good news. You've already dreamed a lot about a type of a TV show you want to have. So that content and the people you wanted to touch and how you wanted to get to them, that will even become more clear as a result of the homework assignment I just gave you. So that's the develop stage. You got to develop. And the way you develop is really get clear and strategic on what you consume. Okay?
Okay.
Now, then you begin to start to say, all right, I'm going to start a podcast, a YouTube channel, and I don't have to go public with it, but I'm going to at least start talking about stuff that I get fired up about. And your voice will come out that way. And that's how you begin to get it out there, develop it, share it, refine it, and then you commoditize it. Okay? But that's the process. And that's all you need to do. But you've got to stay in the day job or find another day job in the meantime, because this is going to take a while.